Welcome back to the Morning Blend. The Wisconsin Film Festival will showcase 146 films over 8 days with features from across the globe to across the street.
We're joined now by two of the organizers, Ben Reiser and Jim Healy. Welcome to the Morning Blend, guys.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Morning.
Thank you. Well, before we start, we want to give a shout out to Steep and Brew too. They're our Morning Blend viewers know that they're a great sponsor of our show, but they also have been a sponsor since the beginning, pretty much, of the Wisconsin Film Festival, and that's exciting for you guys too.
Yeah, and they sponsor this audience award that we do, where people go to the movies at the festival, and then afterwards they have a ballot. They can tear a number for how they feel about the movie, and then we count them up and we announce a winner at the end.
That's fantastic.
Great. Yeah.
Love that.
Love that they're supporting such important and valuable things in our community, such as the Morning Blend and you guys. Well, let's talk about what's new this year at the festival, because people look forward to the festival every year.
We have, well, you said 146 films from all over the world. This year we have a special focus on New Mexican cinema. We have 5 Spanish language films from Mexico, really exciting variety of films. There's a great comedy called Club Sandwich, which is a kind of coming of age film. And then there's, you know, hard-hitting crime films like Haley, H-E-L-I, terrific variety of films from Mexico. What else, Ben?
Well, one thing that's new for this year is we're going to be at the Capitol Theater for one day. That's part of the Overture Center. It's our largest venue this year by far, with 1,100 seats, and it's one of the original movie palaces of Madison, but doesn't get used that much anymore for movies. But we're bringing it back. It's got a huge screen, a brand new sound system, and we're excited to have a day of programming there.
What about any special guests who you'll be bringing into Madison this year?
We have a number of top-flight directors who are coming this year. On our opening night, we have Joe, which is a new film starring Nicolas Cage, and we have the director of the film, David Gordon Green, who made Pineapple Express a few years ago. We have, on our closing night, we have Alexander Payne, who, 2-time Oscar winner, just directed Nebraska. Nominated several times for an Academy Award. He's coming in to present a favorite film of his, an Italian movie from the early 60s called Il Sorpasso, which was an influence on him when he was making Sideways in 2004.
Loved Sideways.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I think a lot of people don't know how to take in the film festival. You know, they hear about it every year. They think, I really want to do that, but they don't really understand, you know, how it works. Are there local films too? You know, how do you explain that to people?
Sure. Well, the idea of doing a festival is seeing as many movies as you can over in a concentrated period of time. Otherwise, you're just going to the movies, right? So go and take in as many things as you can. Take a look at our program and maybe find 1 or 2 things that you're interested in, and then take a chance and see a couple of other things. You can situate yourself in one theater or one day and see 4 or 5 films, or you can move all around town and break it up that way and see any number of films. And we have films from all points of the world, and films that are made here in Wisconsin or by Wisconsin-based filmmakers or filmmakers with ties to the state. But what we're really looking for when we select Wisconsin-made films are really professional films that could show at any film festival at any other part of the world. You know, these are really great films. They're definitely a part of everything that's in our festival.
What does rush only mean?
Rush only means that we have no more advance tickets to sell, but that doesn't mean that you won't be able to get into the film. You can show up the day of the film, get in our rush line, and if there are empty seats 15 minutes before showtime, we will sell them to you. And that almost always happens. We have a very good track record of getting people into anything they want to see if they show up.
What is the greatest film of all time? We don't know the answer to this.
Okay, well, everyone's got their own opinion on that, right? But there's a very there's a very famous among critics and cinephiles, a poll that happens every 10 years. It's conducted by Sight and Sound magazine in England. And they poll all kinds of film critics, programmers, filmmakers, top directors, and they ask them for their list, and then they tally up the list, and the films that get the most votes get to the top of the list. The movie in the most recent poll, which I think was 2 years ago, which topped the list, was Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo, which we're going to be showing in the festival this year in a Hitchcock Rarities sidebar. There's nothing particularly rare about Vertigo. People can see it, but what we're showing is an original late 1950s release print where they can see the original Technicolor on 35mm film with the original mono soundtrack which was later revised and re-recorded. So it's a real rare opportunity.
Cinephiles will geek out. I love that
geek
word.
out. Yeah,
Cinephiles.
I love the cinephiles too. I was excited just to hear one of my favorite movies of all time. It's just a very unique, interesting movie. Is You Can Count on Me. And when both of you were like, "Oh yeah, I love that movie too," a lot of people know that it stars a Wisconsin native, Mark Ruffalo.
Right.
Or do you say Ruffalo?
I think it's Ruffalo.
I think it's Ruffalo too. But I love that movie.
Yes,
you guys were both like, yeah, I know that movie.
And then a few years ago, we showed the film that the director followed up, You Can Count on Me, with Margaret, which is another wonderful film.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Can you still get?
Yeah, you can find Margaret. It's a great film. Mark Ruffalo's in it too. So,
Awesome.
And a number of other great actors too.
One of my favorite movies of all time is The Rock. Is there anything that I should see that, if you like action movies or things like that, that would be good this year?
We have a movie for you called Commando: A One-Man Army, which is a Bollywood production, full-on Rambo. Arnold Schwarzenegger-style action movie with a leading man who performs all his own stunts. He's a sight to behold. But it's
He's
also
a sight to behold.
It's also a full Bollywood musical, so there's singing and dancing in it.
Oh
too.
my gosh,
Yeah.
that's going to be fantastic.
That's
Great movie.
so funny.
I love it.
How many of the movies are subtitles that you're showing?
Maybe 50%. We have a lot of films from English-speaking countries, the U.S., a lot of American indie films, but you know, we have films that are in Japanese, and in Chinese dialects, and
French,
Spanish.
Some people are put off by that, but I always feel like once you start doing it, you don't even notice that you're reading subtitles, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Don't be afraid.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Well, the
perfect.
best films are visual anyway, and the story is there on screen.
Some of my favorite films were subtitled. Starbuck, when it was originally, you know, released, had subtitles, and Ma Vie en Rose, you know, those are great movies, and subtitled. Don't even notice them.
In Steep and Brew, it's interesting too because they have these audience awards, I think that you mentioned, where people can vote on best documentary and best narrative, and people actually cast a ballot as they leave, which is really neat that they can do that. Okay, so to find out more information about the Wisconsin Film Festival, it is happening April 3rd through 10th, so you've got just a couple days to map out all the films that you want to see in Madison. You can find out more about tickets by calling the phone number you see there at 608-265-2933 or visiting the website. It is wifilmfest.org. 2014, I'm sorry, thank you, 2014.wifilmfest.org. And now we're giving away some tickets courtesy of Steep and Brew, which is super exciting. So give us a call right now at 414-799-4444. Caller number 7 wins.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you. Great to see you again.
You guys should come down to Madison. Check out
Yeah,
some
it sounds like
fest.
you got a lot of good
Absolutely.
stuff going on. Thank you so much.